Hey, organizers, how are you? Holly Sutherland here, founder of Rockstar Organizers, and welcome to the live stream today. We got an issue. We're having trouble streaming to your destination. All right, let me see what's up. One second. Having trouble streaming. I think it is streaming one place, and so I can stream it to the place it's not streaming to. So give me one sec. Copy link. All right, I think this will work now. I'm going to pin this to the top so everybody can see it. All right, so we're streaming on Facebook and YouTube right now. I'm so excited about my YouTube channel and would love if you would subscribe right now while you're watching at Rockstar Organizers. It would really help us to get this message out. So I have finally done the thing that organizers have asked me for, and that is to take the guesswork out of social media planning. And this is something that I personally have been through some ups and downs with to try to understand not just the technical things about how things work, but the emotional side of like putting myself out there. And as organizers, that's our kryptonite in some ways. We're so good at what we do, right? I'm getting a little emotional because I was having an emotional moment right before this. We're so good at what we do, but putting ourselves out there to be seen feels a little scary sometimes. And it brings up a lot of questions. It brings up a lot of guesswork. Like, am I saying this right? Am I doing this right? I don't understand like vertical, horizontal, like captions, like all the things. I got to turn on the fan now because I'm hot. I'm getting emotional. And there's a lot that goes into planning one simple post. And so I really empathize with a lot of you who struggle with this because you can sit there overthinking it for like 2 hours and then you don't get engagement. And you're like, what the heck? Was my content not good enough? Did they see me as good enough? Do they see me as competent? And it can really gnaw at you. And if you resonate with that, just type I resonate with that. And so what I've done is taken years of experience of training, of understanding the back end of the business and organizing that, and I've brought it to the front end. And this is the thing that organizers have been asking me for, but I really haven't known how to develop it for you because it was a weak spot for me, to be honest. I can go live, I can talk long form content, but sometimes planning those individual posts, especially when you have a touch of ADHD, hello, then it can feel overwhelming. It can feel confusing. It can be like, can I do this? And can I be consistent at this, right? The consistency is sometimes the trickiest part. Yeah, so much overthinking is what Emily says. So much overthinking. And so my goal is to help you eliminate some of that overthinking and get you to a place that you feel more confident in just being yourself. And whatever that is that day, whether you're feeling frumpy or whether you're feeling radiant, having the courage to be seen as you are, right? Social media really just amplifies what you already are. And it's pretty clear if you come across as a fake. Nobody really likes to watch people who are fake. So whoever you really are is going to show up one way or another on social media. And you can either fight it or you can embrace it and let that be your superpower and let your real authentic self and your vulnerabilities be the thing that help draw others to you in a good way and not wait to be exposed, right? So what I've done is created a process. I'm going to walk you through that today. And I have a special gift for you. For those of you who may not be able to stay to the end, I'll talk to you and show you this more at the end. But socialmediaorganizer.com is now live. It feels like I've had a small child by releasing this into the world. And now I'm like in the hospital for delivering the baby. There's a lot that goes into creating something, as you know, and I'm so excited to be able to give this to you. I feel like it's Christmas in a lot of ways because it's a lot of heart and soul that you'll see in this that's going to help you to break down this process and get yourself and get your message into the world. So I have a special guest with me today, and we're going to talk about this. We actually developed this together. And this guide that I've put together came about as a conversation that she and I were having really just a few weeks ago. She spent a week with me here at my house, and she's very special to me. Her name's Emily, and she's going to be on as a guest today. She's a student in my program, Momentum and Team Building Blueprint. She's been with me for about a year. And Emily, I'm going to bring you on up. You ready? All right, here she comes. Welcome to my friend Emily Steeman. For the longest, I thought it was Emily Steinman until I heard her introducing herself. It's like, oh, she said Steve. So welcome, Emily Steeman. How are you?
I'm doing good. My husband reminded me, like, told me that when I first met him, that it's like you're in a sauna and you're steaming. So that's how I remember how to say it.
That's cute. That's cute. That's cute. So I want to hear a little bit about your story, Emily. We met a little over a year ago, and do you remember how you were feeling at the time as an organizer and trying to put yourself out there? Take me into what that was like.
I felt very like scattered. Not really sure which way to like what to really like go towards. Didn't really know what to focus on. I would like do social media for a little bit and then I'd be like, well, now I have to do this, and then run in from one thing to another. And I just remember feeling very scattered. When you pull in my Facebook picture I took back in September, and I was just remembering when I when I took those photos, I was with you, and I just remember feeling very like confident, even though like as I look at them, like that's not usually how I do my hair, but I felt really confident, and I felt really like I knew what I was supposed to be doing, and if I didn't know, I knew how to find the answers.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you've done amazing so far this year in the program, and it's been so fun getting to know you a little bit, even getting to spend a whole week with you at my house. I'm like, come back. Well, you actually are. Like next month, you're coming back. I'm so excited. We do have a social media workshop coming up in August here in person in South Carolina. If y'all are interested, I'll talk to you more about how to come to that. Emily's going to be helping me lead it. And so I remember she was here just a few weeks ago, and we've been having this conversation, this social media conversation, for a while. So Emily's been helping me with some stuff, and we kind of keep getting in these stuck points. But what really transpired was a solution to the scattered feelings. So if y'all can relate to that, just type scattered in the chat or in the comments. I'm really curious if you have ever felt scattered as well with your social media planning, and really just with your business and your life. It's a lot to do to get yourself out there, and it feels like you're wearing a lot of hats sometimes, right, Emily? It's like, okay, well, I'm wearing the mom hat, I'm wearing the wife hat, I'm wearing the business owner hat. Wait, I'm wearing the student hat. I'm in this program. I'm learning from this girl who always wears pink. And what am I doing today? Right? So one of the solutions that we've talked about with that is the batching of your content. And so I've heard Emily talk about this before, where she kind of fantasizes about waving this magic wand and like 6 months of social media being done, right? Tell us about that fantasy.
It would be just really nice to be able to let that go and not have to worry about it, and not have to like come up with all these ideas, and just like and running a business and having small children, and needing to balance my time. Social media always like fell to the bottom of the list, even though it's really important so that you can stay top of mind. So
yeah. Do you ever find yourself avoiding doing something because you can't do it all at once?
Like me or something. Yes, all the time.
So talk to us about that. What is that like? Wanting to do something all at once, but then just not being able to do it, and so not doing anything. What's that like?
Well, I've found that it's really really nice when I'm able to do like batch a month of content at a time. But then what typically happens is I batch month of content and then I schedule it all out, and it's it can take me a couple days to do all of that. And then I'm so like tired with doing that when I schedule out to do my next planning day, I'm still so exhausted from it that I don't do it for another 2 or 3 months. So like if I do a month at a time, a blitz, and then it's like silent, and then a blitz, and it's just a cycle.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And why do you think that happens? Like, if you're honest with yourself, what do you think causes that blitz, silence, blitz, silence? Like, what kind of feelings causes that?
Wanting it to be perfect and like wanting it to be like the thing that will get clients to come to me, and
Of course,
like
of course, we
because
want clients to come to us. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. So, what are some of the things that you've implemented within your own social media over the last like 6 months or so that have been helpful to, even if you're not totally out of that cycle, you're making ways and making headway out of it? Because I think a lot of people listening can probably relate. So, what are some of the things that you've done that have helped you?
um very recently I've realized that it doesn't have to be just it doesn't have to be something that I made in Canva. It can just be literally just a regular photo that I share with.
It doesn't have to go in Canva.
No, it doesn't actually. And so that just like, even though I love Canva, I could get lost in Canva, but it's like that release of like having to have that perfect photo or that perfect before and after all on a nice Canva thing. It can just be regular photos, and it doesn't even have to be a photo either. It can just be a regular post.
Mm-hmm.
So, and
Yeah.
then yeah.
So what I'm hearing is maybe this expectation that it's got to be XYZ, look a certain way, fit in this perfect pattern behind the scenes. And if it's not, then it's not even worth posting in the first place. So just avoid it, right?
Right.
Yeah, kind of that all or nothing mentality goes with the perfectionistic thing. Callie says, same girl, same.
Yep.
Callie's in our TBB pod. We're all in a little chat together. So she's resonating over here. Teresa says scattered. Diane says scattered. For sure, it can be a scattering thing. So one of the things that I love about Emily is her willingness to try new things, to brainstorm, to pick back up, even if she fell down. And that's part of how this whole thing came to be of what we've created for you. And I can't wait to share it with you, because it literally started with some index cards in my living room, and now it has blossomed into this big thing. So as we were driving for coffee, like, when was it? 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, she was here in town. And I said, hey, I just need to fly your booty here to help me with my social media. So she flew here. And then guess who was a little scattered and distracted herself working on this other project? But it actually worked out kind of interestingly, because Emily had some time to herself. And as a mom, she's like, I never even have time to hear myself think. And so it was just nice, like sitting in the peace that is my house, in my backyard and the front, and just listening to herself think, right over there in that rock star room. And that, what do you call it? Massaging recliner.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So it's so fun. And one morning we were just going to get coffee, and I often just have to get out of the house. I don't know if y'all resonate with this, but sometimes, working from home and living from home, I have to get out of the house like at least once or twice a day. And that's where my brain turns on. These country drives that I take. I live out in the country. It's so sunny and bright, and just feeling the sun on my skin feels like it wakes my brain up sometimes. And so I was taking this country drive to go get coffee because my brain was so fuzzy. And Emily and I were talking, and I'm like, okay, I think it came to me. I think it's this 4-step process. But I'm going to tell you the step that most people miss. And that's the very first step. So Emily knows what the first step is because we developed this together, but I want y'all to tell me, what do you think the first step is that most people miss with social media in the 4-part planning process? What do y'all think it is? I want you to type in the chat. What do you think the number one piece is that makes all your social media stink if you don't do this? It smells like stinky stink. What do you think that first thing is that most people skip? I'm going to see what y'all have to say here. Making more about your business than your client. Connection. These are good answers. And consistency. Yeah, these are good answers. But the real first part of the processing, we're going to walk you through this 4-part process and then walk you through a tool that actually Emily asked me to create. It's probably been 6 or 7 months ago that I started it, and then it took it to a whole new level after the last few weeks. Not knowing your who. There you go. There it is, your niche. Your niche is your who. It's who's your audience, who's reading your post. And does it change from day to day? Or do you talk to the same person from day to day? Because if it changes from day to day, guess what people are going to do? They're going to feel like you're not talking to them, and so they're going to deuce, leave, see ya. So if you're talking to a mom one day and you're talking to a senior another day and you're talking to teachers the next day and you're just trying to throw all your spaghetti at the wall, well, you're going to have spaghetti sauce all over the wall and you won't have any clients. So this is the niche phase. And there's, nicheation. That nicheation phase leads right into the ideation phase. All the other ones have an ation at the end, and so we're like nicheation. Put that as the first one. Well, yeah, I'm gonna change this real quick. Nicheation. That's the first one. Get your nicheation on, girl. Number 2 is the ideation. So this is the part that either you love or you hate. I want y'all to type in the chat, do you love or hate the idea phase? Emily actually doesn't love the idea phase as much. Well, when she does it for other people, she does help other people with their social media. Why do you think that is, Emily? Why do you not like the ideation phase as much?
Because that's a lot of brain power, and it takes my brain a long time to like boot up to actually come up with really cool ideas. Not really cool, but like decent ideas.
Yeah. But I bet you have good ideas in the shower sometimes, and I bet you have good ideas on your morning walk sometimes. But somehow the pressure of like sitting down and coming up with it is tricky. Angie says, I have a love-hate relationship with ideation. Yeah, that's pretty true. Diane says, I love ideas, less love for implementation. Yeah. So I actually love the ideation phase, but what's sometimes hard is to harness them in an organized way. So sometimes it ends up showing up on a bunch of scattered Post-it notes, iPhone notes. Are y'all team iPhone or Android? I have an iPhone, but I want to hear in the chat, are you iPhone or Android? And does Android have some kind of, I'm sure it has some kind of running notes. Emily has an Android.
Yep, we have notes.
Okay. Or maybe you have 600 Google Docs or Canva Docs opened that just have a bunch of random stuff in there. So harnessing the idea phase can be tricky sometimes. Okay, Erin says iPhone all the way. Yeah, there we go. Solidarity, sister. So the ideation phase is the part where you're pulling out what could be. So it's kind of like an organizing project. Whenever you pull the things out, I think every good organizer knows you got to pull the stuff out before you do stuff with it. And think about it this way. If you want to batch your content, then I want you to batch these phases together. There's really no batch to nicheation. Nicheation. I'm just having some fun here. There's just a decision. So I'm deciding, and I always say to my organizers, my groups, commit to a niche for at least 6 months before you decide that it's not working and that you want to talk to somebody else. If you're constantly ping-ponging back and forth, you're never really going to get any traction or momentum. And then if you do switch, just switch all the way. Like go full hog into the new niche. Don't like dance between the two, because that's where you're going to stay broke when you don't get your own initiation on. So the ideation phase is pulling it all out. So Emily, what's the first thing you do whenever you go to a client's house and they tell you, I want it to look like this? Do you just put it all in right away, or what do you do?
Declutter. Pull it all out and declutter.
Pull it all out and declutter. So what do you think that has to do with ideation?
You gotta declutter the ideas that aren't worth anything.
Yeah. But every idea I have is $1 million idea, so I'm not gonna declutter any of them, right? And that's gonna make my social media awesome because it's gonna have a bunch of random ideas. Yeah, said nobody ever. So pulling it out and organizing it. So I'm gonna walk y'all through part of the guide that I have made for you. Let me pull this up real quick, and you can get this at socialmediaorganizer.com for free. Today's the first day it's available. And I'm going to show you how I do this, how you can organize the ideation phase. All right. Can you see this, Emily? Okay, there it is on the screen. Awesome. Okay, so you're going to relate to a lot of that. I know you will. And here we go, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the ideation phase is coming up with what issues they face and what pains and desires go along with that issue. So if your niche is a busy mom, what are some of the issues that busy moms face? I want y'all to type in the chat. Busy mom issues in the chat. All right, let me see your comments here. No time, lack of time. Yep. So that is one way to look at an issue is time. But I want you to get more specific. If you know that your niche is busy moms, what do they specifically have issues with about time? Always running from one activity to the next, lack of energy by the end of the day. Yep, that's true, Erin. Busy raising kids, don't have time to declutter. Yep. I want you to think about their issues that are not related to organizing, believe it or not. I just want you to think about their issues. What does a busy mom have issues with? Too much going on. One of the things that's going to determine this even more specifically is what stage of life that busy mom is in. Is she a busy mom in her 50s with teenagers and one of them graduating and going off to college? Or is she a busy mom with 2 kids under the age of 3, like Emily, and the issue is privacy? Can I just go to the bathroom by myself, right? Can I just go potty without an audience, without an investigation over here? Diane says not enough help. Lauren says laundry, kids appointments, sick kids, sports activities, potty training, sleep deprivation. Yeah. So get into the mind of what kind of issues this person faces. Now I want you to take it a step further and ask yourself what pains and desires go along with that issue. Okay. What pain does she have related to too much going on? What desire does she have related to too much going on? What is the main issue? Now, if you have a different niche, they're going to face different issues, and their pains and desires are going to be related to that issue. So here's the thing that's going to make your social media different from everybody else who's an organizer, is to actually not really talk about organizing and decluttering all that much. I know it's a shocker, but actually talk about their life and about what they want and about what they don't want. And don't talk about your stuff, and don't talk about your packages, and don't talk about your prices. I'm not saying don't ever talk about it, but 80% of the time, talk about this stuff right here. The issues they face, the pains they're going through, the desires that they have related to it, and they're going to resonate with it. I want you to ask yourself, why do you pay attention to somebody else's social media? Why do you put your focus on somebody else's page? And then I want you to reflect that back and put it in your own. So the third phase about this is the creation. But Emily, did you have anything you wanted to add about the ideation phase before we go on? She says no. Okay. So the creation phase. This is the part that takes a little strategery to understand. So from my experience, I have noticed 8 types of posts that work well for organizers. And this is what they are right here. Services, benefits, transformations, magic wand. That's like engagement questions, inviting them to engage about the transformations they want to see with the magic wand of what they wish they could do. The myths and misconceptions, availability, showing your faces and your team's face, and value, simply offering value. Not always talking about your stuff, but simply offering value so that by the time it comes time for you to make an offer, they're interested to hear because they know how it relates to them, with what pains they have and what desires that they're wanting to see happen. Because ultimately, I hate to break it to you, people don't actually buy your organizing services. They're buying a feeling that they want from being organized. And that's what we would call a result. So they're looking for a result. And so if you're only focused on talking about your before and afters and talking about getting them to book with you and things like that, they're not going to resonate as much as if you talk about how painful it is to step on a Lego in the middle of the night, and the inner conversation that a busy mom has with herself about feeling like a bad mom because her kids can't pick up after themselves. That's the real reason she's going to buy you, to avoid the pain of feeling like a bad mom and to fulfill the desire of having a kid who is responsible enough to pick up after themselves. So Emily, how would you feel if your children, let's say at age 4 or 5, I know they're super young right now, like honestly, how will you feel as a mom when your kids pick up after themselves? Give me a few feeling words.
I feel like pride. My 2.5-year-old actually does help pick up her toys.
Oh,
And
Emma.
it's like the best feeling ever, because it's like pretty soon she'll be able to do that on her own, and I don't have to worry about it anymore. And I can just kind of like offload it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I always think about, how can I offload things in my business to other people? Well, it's just kind of training them to be able to offload it to them.
Yeah.
And just feed them. That's all I have to do to pay them.
Just
Feed
feed
them
them.
and give them cuddles.
That's so cute. Yeah, thank you for sharing. I feel like that's very relevant to what other moms are going to feel, is that pride. They're going to feel proud that their kids can pick up after themselves. And so when you talk more about that than about it taking 5 hours to clean up a toy room with your team in a day, they don't really care about that. That's like the feature. But what is the benefit? The benefit is that the kids can pick up after themselves. And what is the result? The result is that the mom feels like a really good mom. So your content should really be more about the pain that they're currently in, what they currently want, or at least what they think they want and what they think they need. And then that about 80% of the time. And then about 20% of the time, talk about the benefits and the results. If you're only ever talking about the good stuff and you're not talking about any of the pain, they're not really going to relate. We actually relate more on pain than we do on fantasy, right? We might have the same fantasies as somebody else, but it's whenever they tell you something that's personal that you feel connected to them. So when you show up on your social media trying to appear too perfect, people actually don't resonate with that. But if you show up complaining all the time, they're not going to resonate with that either. So what it really takes is you listening to yourself about what transformation it's had in your life and sharing a story related to that. And then going through the nitty-gritty process of creating something. And this is where a lot of people get stuck, is all these other boxes on creating content. This is where I personally get stuck. I was having a conversation right before this call, stuck on some of this same stuff. So I'm not pretending that I have it all together, but I have made hundreds of thousands of dollars from social media by simply connecting with people on there. And it's possible. And I have stopped trying to sell online and simply just trying to connect, give free gifts. Like, this is a free gift for you right here. And if people want more, they'll reach out. They know how to find me, right? But it takes that icky factor out whenever you just show up to give, to connect, to laugh about funny stuff, be there for somebody when they're having a hard time and give them the care emoji and send them a big hug. But that's going to take the pressure out of social media when you feel like you have to appear a certain way, or you have to look perfect, or you have to put the perfect Canva logo post up. But simply be real. And this process is going to walk you through, okay, I'm going to do this type of post. I'm going to do a text, a video, or an image post. Now, maybe after that, I'm going to plug that into a template. Maybe there's some real audios that are trending, some real templates I could plug my stuff into, some Canva templates. And then I'm going to go into the creative side of like the images, the graphics, the cover for the video reel, and then into the copy, which is a fancy word for words, and then the call to action with what do you want people to do about this post? Even if it's simply comment the word cool, always have something that they could do that you're inviting them to do. So this is the part that Emily loves to help people with. So you can actually hire her to help with this. And the first step with that would be getting the social media prompts that are linked in here. I'll show you a little bit about that. Emily, do you have anything to add on this creation phase?
I don't think so.
Okay. Why do you like this part? I'm curious.
I like being able to streamline it for myself and others so that it's like super simple, and you can come with your idea and like plug it in, and you don't have to overthink it, because there's a lot of things you could do on Canva. And
for sure.
Yeah,
anything we can streamline and not overthink is good news. So the last part is the implementation. And this is the part whenever people say, I want to hire help with social media, I think this is the part they're really kind of mostly, well, actually they might be thinking of all this, but here's the thing. You're probably not going to find one person who's going to help you with all four, because nobody can really replace you in social media. So I'm giving you the strategy right here. And then I do have some prompts for you. We are starting a monthly membership where we meet every Tuesday with Emily and me to help walk you through your social media. We'll talk to you more about that. But the first step is getting this free guide. And in case you missed it, I'll show you the link where you can get that. It's at socialmediaorganizer.com. So the implementation phase is really the part that I, as an expert business coach for organizers, see as your best opportunity to outsource. Completely outsource. Because once it's created, somebody else can create the actual post. But they don't really know how to get you nicheated. They don't really know the industry to get you ideated. They might be able to help with the creation. That's probably the part they could help with. And then the implementation is really where you're going to get your lowest cost VAs. I like to use Upwork.com. Look for somebody in the Philippines or India. It's even lower, and it might be $5 or $10 an hour to outsource some of the regular stuff. But you've got to get a head start with this phase which only comes after you do this phase. So can y'all see how it all builds on each other? And really the ideation phase right here, once you get this stuff dialed in, there's a lot more you can do with it. But I've actually got a shortcut for you. If y'all want to see the shortcut, type shortcut and I'll show it to you. So then comes the actual process. Scheduling a start and an end time, maybe 30 minutes a day, 3 days a week. I've broken it out for you where you can do one from each of these columns, naming your person and your niche, naming the issues they face, naming their pains and desires, what type of media you want to make, what type of strategic post it goes into. And there's some descriptions of those 8 types I showed you earlier. I showed you the overview earlier, and now I'm breaking it down into steps. And your planning process is going to look something like this. Your post, your planning prompt will look something like this. Services to help realtors with showcasing the best parts of the house, text post. So this is one of the 8 strategic types. This is the niche. This is their desire is to showcase the best parts of the house. And that is the media of the post. Okay, here we go again. Benefits, that's one of the 8 strategic types. That's how to post. The busy moms is the niche. Having easy mealtime is the desire, and the media is video post. So these prompts right here are going to give you a starting point. So when you see something like that, do you get a clear idea now with that type of prompt? Like, oh, okay, I could make a post about that. But it's so much different when you're staring at a blank screen. Staring at the blank page before you. I always think that Natasha Bedingfield song. It's dating me a little bit. And so I've actually created a way for you to get these automatically within 1 minute if you're interested. That's the shortcut. So you can click the easy button within your guide. Okay, so Teresa and Diane are saying shortcut, time-saving mom here. Yeah, shortcut. Okay, I want to show you all this real quick. And then this is just about to wrap up. We got started a few minutes late, so I'm going to run a little bit past 4:15. But Emily is the one who said this. Holy cow! Holly, I just did this in less than 5 minutes and I have a 6-month plan all planned out. This is insane. I'm so excited. OMG. OMG, truly amazing. Seriously, no more excuses now. Kasha said, I'm so excited. Now I don't have to do the big thinking, just the little thinking. I love your plug and chug. So when you're at this guide and you click on this page right here, it's going to take you to socialmediaorganizer.com. Actually, no, wait, that's the one for the free guide. This takes you to social media. Sorry, getting my self confused here. It takes you to the page after that, rockstarorganizers.com/prompts. But you'll see it all linked inside your free guide. So just get the free guide first at socialmediaorganizer.com. It's going to show you a quick video of how it works. Now, here's the cool thing. All you really have to do is fill out this survey. And it's just a few questions, and I'm going to show you in real time how this works. So if you like those prompts, and if those prompts made sense to you, you're going to select a start date here. So I would suggest starting on a Sunday, so 7/21/2024. Select one of the niches, and then it says go check your inbox and join us on the weekly calls to implement this together. So if y'all like accountability, type accountability. If you're one of those type of people who like, I cannot be trusted to do this on my own. I have all these good intentions. I get all these tools. I have all these plans. Type accountability if you know that's you. If you just do better with accountability. Or even you just do better doing things together, right? So I want to show you what just showed up in my inbox. Let me pull this up and show it to you. It literally takes a minute to run the magic scripts behind the scenes. Okay, here we go. So what it does is sends you an email that says you just saved yourself hundreds of hours, and it tells you how you can use some of these with ChatGPT. Oh, here it is right here. It came 0 minutes ago. Cue the confetti, you saved yourself hundreds of hours. So it tells you how you're going to use these prompts, and then you get your own plan with your name on it right there on the start date that you chose in all these pretty colors that you can print out, and it's got prompts for 6 months. So that's $97, and you can get that after you get the free guide. Can you imagine not even having to do any of that on your own? I mean, holy cow. Holy cow. So I'm super excited to share this with you. And the first step is getting the social media prompts. And that's social media guide at socialmediaorganizer.com. So I'm curious with you all. I'm going to stop my screen share so I can see you. I'm curious with you all what you feel like you could do with all that time you get back from planning social media. So Emily, you're an example. How much time before you had this tool do you think you spent just trying to come up with ideas on any given week?
Somewhere between 2 and 6 hours.
2 and 6 hours. So what would you rather be doing with 2 and 6 hours?
Going to the park and on adventures with my kids.
I saw your pictures. They were so cute. Going to the beach over the weekend.
Oh, it's so fun.
Yeah. So how do you feel like these prompts have helped you in the last few weeks since we put this together? What has it opened up for your mind as far as your own planning process?
It really takes the question out of it, and just being able to, oh, okay, this is what I'm going to write about. And then it's really amazing too, that I have so much to say about it without asking chat GPT about it and then having to rewrite whatever they write because it doesn't sound like me. And I just keep on typing, and there was a couple, I think I told you that I'm like, these could be blog posts. They're so good.
Yeah.
And so it was just taking out. So I'm trying to think back. I think in an hour, I did a whole week's worth of posts through those prompts.
It's amazing.
So, yeah.
It's amazing. So do you feel like it gave you a really good starting place, and then you could just run with it and be like, okay, well, at least I don't have to come up with the big idea. All I really have to do is take what it gave me, get creative, tweak a little bit of things here and there, but at least you have a really good starting point. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's just been really cool to go to the prompt and then oh, actually this is a service and a transformation type of post, and it doesn't have to fit that exact mold.
Yeah, because sometimes it will overlap.
Yep, exactly.
Mm-hmm. But you don't want it to be like one of those rooms that your client tries to fit 6 different purposes in one multi-purpose room. You don't want to. It's not like the more the better with the different strategic types. It's just something that they happen to overlap, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want this to be a craft room and a gym and an office? Call another organizer. Just kidding. We'll make you a little segment for each hobby or whatever.
Right.
Too funny. So Emily and I are actually launching a membership together on Tuesdays. We've already started this with our members, and then we're going to extend it to you all. It's just $47 a month. That once you get these prompts, you can join us every Tuesday at 12:30. And Emily is a Canva wizard. She's really good at zipping around and showing you how to do stuff. So if Canva has ever felt too confusing or too technical and you're like, I don't know what to do, Emily's your person to ask. So on Tuesdays, you can come join us with this. And if you're just honest with yourself, even if you get the prompts, if you don't think you're going to do a whole lot with them, I just want to encourage you that we're here for you. Every Tuesday afternoon, we're starting this up. You can join us as soon as tomorrow, and we'll officially kick off next week. But I would love for y'all to be able to benefit from this and save a lot of time and put this prompt to work, and tell me if you want something with it that could even make it even easier after that, because I'm here to make y'all's lives easier. Emily, is there anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
I think you covered everything.
Awesome. Well, I'll tell you one last story, and this is kind of funny. Emily was sitting here in my living room. She lives up in Wisconsin, right? Wisconsin?
Mm-hmm.
Why did I just blank out? I'm like, yeah, I know where you live. You live in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. I live down in South Carolina, but I flew her down here. We spent some time together. And it came to us late one night, where we can be kind of night owls, where I had these index cards laid out with like the 8 strategic post types, the niche, the pains and the desires, and then the media, like video, text, or whatever. So I put out these cards to her, and I'm like, choose one from this pile and this pile and this pile and this pile. And she pulled them, and this is how we came up with this. Is she pulled them and she held them, and she's like, oh my gosh, I know exactly what to post now because I'm doing a text post for busy moms on the pain of their kids not picking up the toys and them stepping on the Lego. And it says services. Okay, these are the services we can do that'll help you with that, right? It came to her very quickly once that was all synthesized for her. But staring at a blank screen, it might have taken her like 15 minutes to come up with that. So think about that over and over and over and what a time saver it could be. So that's how it all started, was with those note cards. And we're going to be leading a workshop coming up soon. The first step is getting the free guide that leads you to the prompts, that leads you to the membership, that leads you to the workshop. It goes in that order, and you'll see all those pages once you get the guide. And that's going to be August 15th and 16th for you to do this together and be able to actually get your stuff done in a couple days, get my feedback on it, be able to tweak some things, get some stuff implemented so you truly can set it and forget it. So super happy to share this with you. Thank you for tuning in today to Rockstars Unplugged. And don't forget to go to socialmediaorganizer.com, get your free guide, and enjoy the heck out of it. See y'all later. Bye.